If you ever have cancellations or discharges that leave unexpected large gaps in your practice's schedule and you'd like to know how to fill them with cash pay patients reliably, even last minute, then this video is for you. Last week, one of my therapists, who generally stays very busy, had double the amount of discharges that he normally has. A couple people went on vacation or were going on vacation, and then one person actually moved that was on his schedule. And literally overnight, Friday morning, we woke up and we're like, wow, what happened to his schedule? So that Friday morning, we created and executed a plan that brought in 10 additional patients onto his schedule that was at that point half empty for the following week, and really salvaged the practice's profits that week. And in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what we did and how you can reproduce that in your practice and for your profits. And in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how we did that and how you can easily reproduce it in your practice to fill any gaps that you want to with cash pay patients. Welcome to today's episode. My name is Jarod Carter. I'm a physical therapist, a cash-based practice owner, and the creator of the cash pay profit formula. I help healthcare providers like you to create and grow your own successful cash-based out-of-network or concierge practice so you can reduce or get rid of your reliance on greedy insurance companies, provide a level of care you can be ultimately proud of, and ultimately reclaim your profits and your future. So if you're new here, definitely consider subscribing to this channel, because I put out training episodes like this very frequently, and they always have a free resource associated with the episode that is designed to help you get results faster. And today's resource is the word-for-word scripts that we use for the email, the text, and the Facebook ads that got us those 10 additional patients on my clinician's schedule. You can download those at drjarodcarter.com/episode 2. And as you'll learn, this is a repeatable strategy that you could do monthly, or at least quarterly, or just on an as-needed basis whenever you have gaps in your practice's schedule that you need to fill, and add massive revenue to your bottom line over time. I mean, this is really simple, easy to implement, but so extremely impactful for your bottom line of your practice and for the number of patients ultimately that you can serve. Okay, let's dive into the details of exactly what we did. So you already know the backstory of how things kind of fell apart. And it can happen in any practice where you get, more people hitting discharge and graduating, happy graduations, that occur at a higher rate. All of a sudden, it's like, we've got gaps to fill. Travel, COVID-related cancellations, any kind of cancellations, work-related, whatever, it can happen. And you need to have a way to fill those quickly. And so what we did, as I mentioned before, was we sent a text. First we turned on Facebook ads, then we sent a text and an email. And so for the Facebook ads, this particular clinician, in our Facebook ads, we feature the clinician as an expert in a particular body part or syndrome or area. We found that to be pretty useful approach. It's not necessarily the only way that you can have success with Facebook ads by any means, but we really like to feature the actual clinicians and get people excited to see that person. And we have ads for all our clinicians that way. With this particular clinician, he's usually pretty full. So we don't usually have to have the Facebook ads turned on, but we have them in there ready to go for situations like this. So we crank those on, $30 a day. And that gave us 2 patients. We got 2 patients over the weekend on his schedule for that following week. The next thing we did is I had my administrator, my practice manager, go back in his schedule in our scheduling system and reach out via text, kind of as him, as the clinician, to everyone that has either discharged or dropped off the schedule in the last 6 months. So it was a lot of texts. And so it was basically just a simple and friendly check-in, hey, just checking in to see how you're feeling. You popped in my head, and I was just wanting to make sure you're still doing well. And we built a lot of goodwill. There were plenty of people that were still 100%. They wrote back, "Thanks so much for checking in. I'm still doing great. Thank you so much for your help." And had we been thinking, now that I'm talking through it, probably should have had my administrator send anyone that said, "Yeah, I'm still great." Anyone that hadn't given us a Google review, that would have been a good time to ask. But add that to what you do, right? So anyhow, anyone that wrote back and said, it's actually bothering me a little bit, or this or that, or I've been meaning to reach out because it kind of came back a little bit. That was our opportunity to say, well, look, I actually have a couple openings next week. Why don't we get you booked, get you in, and get this thing knocked out before it gets any worse? Just get you back to 100% as quickly as possible. And that gave us 4 patients. So we reactivated 4 past patients with that approach. And that was all handled. He was still seeing patients that day, and my practice admin was handling that. I wrote an email and had her send it out to our entire client and lead list. So it's all past patients, as well as anyone that's downloaded a lead magnet or ended up on our list in some format, went through the contact form in the website or whatever the case may be. So they're on our list. It went out to our whole list. And it was a short, sweet email, the subject line. And again, you can get all the text and for all of these things, exact word for word at drjarodcarter.com/episode 2. But the gist of that email, the subject line was, I think it was, a few spots open next week or something like that. And in parentheses, I put flash sale. And I said, I'm reaching out quickly to let you know that, one of our superstar clinicians, Nick, had more than the normal amount of pain-free graduations this week and discharges. So he's ended up with a few spots next week. And I decided to put those on a 20% discount. So if you've been dealing with any ache, pain, stiffness, whatever, just be one of the first people to reply to this email, or you can text/call, our clinic number and grab one of those spots and get it taken care of. And that was it. And that gave us 4 patient reactivations, or maybe, I think one of them might have been someone that never had come in at that point. So all in all, those 3 things, turning on the Facebook ads, text, and a quick email, and 10 patients really, really, kind of salvaged the week for that clinician and, for our practice. And as you can tell, very repeatable, very easy to implement, not something that you as a practice owner really even have to get involved with if you have the staff that can do it for you. So again, if you want the word for word script for all those things, drjarodcarter.com/episode 2. Before we wrap up, I do love to answer questions. I love comments and feedback. So if you have any of those, please leave those below in the comments section. I'd love to interact with you and answer any questions you have. If you found any value in this and you think someone else, a colleague or someone would get value out of it, please consider to share this with us and send this their way. And make sure you hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss any of these training episodes. We put them out frequently. We always have a great free resource associated. With all that said, thank you so much for joining today, and I will see you in the next one.